Imagine you're out in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by nothing but sand and rocks. The desert is quiet, except for the soft sound of wind blowing through the dry, barren land. This is where our story begins, with a man named Moses. Moses wasn't always in the desert. He grew up in Egypt, raised in luxury as a prince, even though he was born an Israelite. But after a series of events, he found himself far from Egypt, living as a shepherd in the land of Midian. Moses thought he'd live out the rest of his days in peace, looking after his sheep. But fate had other plans. One day, as Moses was tending his flock, he led them to the far side of the wilderness, near a mountain called Horeb, also known as the Mountain of God. As he walked, something caught his eye, a bush burning brightly. But this wasn't just any fire. The bush was on fire, but it wasn't burning up. The flames were dancing around the leaves and branches, but the bush remained intact. Curious and a little cautious, Moses decided to take a closer look. As he approached, he heard a voice calling his name. "Moses! Moses!" Startled, Moses replied, "Here I am." The voice then said, "Don't come any closer. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Moses, trembling now, did as he was told. The voice continued, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." Realizing he was in the presence of God, Moses hid his face, afraid to look at the burning bush. But God wasn't done. He had an important mission for Moses. God spoke to Moses, telling him that he had seen the suffering of the Israelites, who were enslaved in Egypt. He had heard their cries for help, and he was ready to rescue them. And he wanted Moses to lead this mission. God said, "I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." Moses was shocked. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. He was just a shepherd now, far from the life he once knew. How could he confront Pharaoh, the most powerful man in the world? Moses began to doubt himself, saying, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" But God reassured him, saying, "I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain." Even then, Moses was still unsure. He asked, "What if they don't believe me or listen to me?" So, God gave him miraculous signs to prove his power. Moses was to use these signs to show the Israelites and Pharaoh that he was truly sent by God. With courage and faith, Moses accepted the mission, knowing that God was with him every step of the way. The burning bush was more than just a miraculous sight. It was a powerful reminder that even in the most unexpected places and times, we can be called to do great things. All we need is faith, courage, and trust in the path laid before us. And so, Moses' journey began, a journey that would lead to one of the greatest stories of liberation and faith in history.